You got me in the back? Back there? All right, here's the deal, guys. Usually when people bring me in, it's to put a perspective on what a bad day is. All right, so that's what I'm going to do for you. I can't tell you anything right now that's going to change your life. I can't tell you anything that you hadn't already heard from your coaches. All right, I'm not here to butter you up and tell you that you're going to be successful and make it. I mean, you're grown men. You guys aren't, is there women in here? Earmuffs over there. You guys aren't on the tit anymore. You're grown-ass men. So I'm going to talk to you accordingly. You got that? I'm going to give you a little perspective on how my definition of a team and what I did as a team player, and then relate it to what you guys do. Because what you guys do right now and what I did for a living, I mean, it's all relative. You guys get up, throw your helmet, your uniform on, go out there and try to punish the person in front of you as hard and as humanly possible. That's what I did. Heaven forbid you're successful at the end, or heaven help you, you're successful at the end of the day. Sometimes we get hit, sometimes we go down, sometimes we get beat. Don't think for 1 second I have an S on my chest, I wear a cape or something like that. I've been hit so damn hard I thought the bones fell out of my ass, bro. I mean, shot, blown up, dead, tortured. But the whole time, the one thing that separates the SEAL teams from everybody else is our inability to stay down. I noticed you have that sign in there, the only easy day was yesterday. You know where that comes from? Us. And that is literally the letter of the law, all right? Because there's a huge difference between being on a team, all right, and being a team. Are you guys playing on a team, or are y'all a team? Tell me. You think so? Okay. Well, here's the definition of being of a team and what I do for a living, all right? From the time that we start SEAL training, all right? And I don't care what color you are, where you come from, poor, rich, Ivy League, dumbass, smart guy, hillbilly, whatever it is, man. In our community, that doesn't mean anything. The only thing that means anything to me is your ability to stand beside me when it gets heavy. I'm not talking about blood flowing yet. I'm just talking about uncomfortable, all right? And when we start getting hit, man, blood starts flowing and bones are breaking, all I have to do is look over and see those guys to the left and right of me. They're not going anywhere. Because in our business is death, all right? Your business is to win. You got to tell yourself, look, I'm going to back up a little bit more. So when we start our training, when I decided I want to be a Navy SEAL, man, I thought I knew what I was getting myself into. I left college, man, showed up there, and the minute I signed that piece of paper that says that no matter what, I'm an expendable asset, you can kill me if you want, that's when it started, all right? And that's what I always prided myself on. I was never the smartest, the fastest, or the quickest guy, man, all right? I wasn't the strongest link, I wasn't the weakest link. I was just a link in the chain. You never had to look over at me because I wasn't doing my job, all right? I was the middle guy. I mean, some people in here, we have them in our community too, man. Some people are just the natural gifted athletes, man. They don't even have to train to be better than everybody else. Usually those bastards are lazy, all right? Then you got guys like us who struggle from the bottom, that carry that cross every single day and put the work in. But a lot of times, man, the deal with us is we push so hard, we alienate ourselves in the middle. Because as soon as we step in there, man, it's chaos and pain and blood. More people die in our training than they do in combat. That's a little hidden gem we keep from you guys. But that's what it's all about. Because the way you form that team, I kind of refer to it as a family. You know how everybody in here is like, your families, right? You come from your families. Everybody's like, oh, my family's crazy. Everybody's family is crazy, okay? All of them are crazy. But the reason that love is there, that bond is there, is because think of everything you've been through since you've been born with them, all right? Granted, you guys have been playing football most of your life. You get separated from those guys you grew up with, and they throw you into this. You got your seniors in here who've been around, are champions. You got the new guys coming in who want to be champions. Usually the reputation falls down the hill. So you freshmen who came in and hadn't done shit, man, you think you're champions. That's a big mistake. And for you seniors who think you're champions, need I remind you, the only easy day was yesterday. You're not a champion right now, are you? You're working to be that, to get back up on that podium, to take that rite of passage that says no matter what you do, you can't beat us, all right? Because that's the way we look at it. When we start that training, I remember when I was getting tortured, beat down through the SEAL training, man, the first couple of times we get out of there, I'd always be like, you know what, I made it through there. And that guy to the right and left of me, he'd be like, yeah, I made it through there too. And then days turned to months. And all of a sudden, man, after those beat downs would come through, we started saying, hey, you know what, we made it. We made it through that. And the minute you start saying that, the minute that we comes out, that's your team. You know that you're unbeatable. Because of your refusal to let this guy get hurt. You think I went into the gym and worked out every day, honed in my weapon skills, my fighting skills, all that stuff because I give a damn about myself? I didn't. I still don't. I made myself the most lethal killer I could possibly make myself because I cared about this guy. And that's what he did. And that's what you do. You come in here every day to make yourself the most lethal player you can possibly be because of these guys, all right? And success will come from that. You spend all the time trying to make yourself better, you're going to leave your team behind. You can't have that in and out. I was at, that's not important. Those guys that we come in with, man, we stay with. And we go into all that stuff they send us out to do. That stuff that nobody else wants to do. Those are the jobs we get. And our ideals, man, look, I'm Marcus right now. In front of my mother, man, I'm still her baby boy. In front of my wife, man, I'm her husband and a gentleman. When I went out onto the field, and as soon as I painted my face up and threw my helmet on, man, we call it flipping the switch in the SEAL teams. You become an animal. I mean, an absolute rampaging beast. I would do everything in my power to walk through anybody they set in front of me, hoping that they had a chance to try and kill me. All right? I never stopped. I mean, I told you, man, I've been hit so many damn times, it's not even funny, man. My teammates were standing right there to pick me up every time I fell down. It's the little stuff. I know your coaches, man, in here, that attention to detail. You guys really know what that means? I mean, it's the most mundane, minute thing that you don't even pay attention to is what starts that chain of events that creates that bond that is unbreakable. And I'm talking about if your boy's down on the ground and somebody's there picking his ass up. He ain't doing it by himself. You seniors, you're the first ones here and the last ones to leave, right? It's the way it should be. It teaches humility. Matter of fact, you should probably clean up the locker room. And that's what we do as the senior men. New guys, guess what? You're the first ones in here and the last ones to leave as well. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You shut your damn mouth and open your ears. And you listen to anything and everything these upperclassmen have to teach you, because that's how you learn. In the SEAL teams, man, we got our Master Chiefs, those crusty bastards that have been around forever. They're still there. They're the ones that made the road. We're there to make sure it stays paved. Because let me tell you something. This is the mental aspect that when I talk to sports teams, man, I try to get into it. I've only talked to 4 other teams, man. All of them are national champions. No pressure. And that's not a joke either. It didn't happen at the end of the year. It happened at the beginning. So this is on y'all, man. Take something from what I say here today. You'll make it. But the one thing we do, man, every time I went out there with the thought in my head that there is no other thing to do besides win. If you go out there playing a team, you're like, hey, man, these guys are tough. I don't know if wrong. That's wrong. I mean, it's every time you throw that fucking suit on and put that helmet on, you shift to that animal. There was no doubt in my mind we were going to lose this. I didn't come here to lose, because in my business we die. That's what losing is. And losing out there feels like dying, doesn't it? I don't envy the pressure you guys have, man. I mean, everything, the sports, ESPN, I mean, everybody, this town. Imagine that. When I threw my uniform, I had the country depending on me. You guys, the same thing with y'all, man. The town depends on you. It lives and dies by how well you guys play. You see yourself on TV, somebody was making a smart-ass comment about something. Anybody outside this team makes a comment to you, it doesn't matter. Monday morning quarterbacks, man, trust me, we deal with them too, good and bad. The only thing that matters, the only opinion that matters here are these guys who are out there busting their ass and bleeding with you. And it should matter to you. I mean, I don't care who you are. I know the offensive line, defense, clicks, all that stuff like that, man, but you're still a team. All right? And those team captains for each one of those prospective positions are the ones that unite the team. You're the ones that keep it together. You don't, you won't. You'll fail. Plain and simple. And you really want to get into it, man. You really want to love each other, chaos and pain. Every time you hit that gym, every time you hit that field, man, it's like anything and everything you can throw at me, I'm still going to be standing here. I'm going to be laying down there waiting for my buddy to pick me up. And when it comes time, when it's game time, man, just like we jock up and we get on the field, man, when you guys jock up and get on the field, you stand on that sideline, man. Nothing else matters. You clear the void. The only thing in front of you is that other team. And, man, I tell you, when we see those guys, I mean, just foaming at the mouth, man, like, I cannot wait for them to cut us loose on these guys, because we're going to stomp their ass like death. That's it. You better pray to God that you put the work in. You better pray to God that you've taken the time to study every little detail about me, because I've studied you. Believe it. That's what champions do. That's what straight up fighters do. You want to be that way? You know anything and everything about the guy in front of you, your enemy. All right? I hate to put it like that, but that's what it is. You decided to step right here in front of me, man. I have studied you upside and down. I know every little weakness, and I'm going to exploit it the whole time I'm out here. And the only way to stop me is to put me out of the game. That's the way I looked at it. The only way you're going to stop me, man, you're going to have to put me out. And like I said, man, I wasn't the strongest guy or the smart. I mean, I had the biggest attitude. You can bet your ass I was proud to be a part of that team. It's a blessing to be on this team. You guys know that, right? The minute you take it for granted, shame on you. Somebody will fill your void quick. That's it, man. All you have is each other. The coaches, the same thing with us, man. We got our leadership and everything. They teach us and show us and everything like that. But when it comes time to get on the field, man, I can't help you. I mean, they'll be throwing stuff at you, but you're the one in the fight. That's it, man. You got each other. Y'all are the fight. These guys are on the side, man. I mean, much as they want to come in, much as they're throwing stuff at you and everything like that, man, the most lethal weapon you have is your mind. You guys know that, right? This is a machine. It wants to stay alive. No matter how hard you get it, you have no idea what this thing is capable of. Nothing. You have no idea. It wants to stay alive. It wants to keep getting back up. This is the engine that drives it. You sharpen this into something. I know you guys who've come from the hard times and all like that, you know a little bit better what I'm talking about, the kids who had it easy. But guess what? You kids who had it easy, you're in this now. It's not easy anymore. You're one team, one fight. There's no separation between you. Black, white, all that stuff doesn't make a shit. All right? Nothing. If you think that it does, you're in the wrong spot. That's how you lose. It clicks and all that stuff like that. It'll kill you, man. Have you ever noticed that the bigger the group gets, the harder it is to become a team? The perfect size for a team is what you are right now, and smaller. You know everything about each other, right? I hope that you do. You watch everybody. You learn everybody, their little clicks and details about what keeps them going, what makes them happy, what makes them sad. You got one of your buddies that's down. I hope to God you know what cheers him up. He's supposed to do that by himself? He gave that up a long time ago when he decided to be on a team. That's on y'all, man. Straight up. Team leader on down. Where's the quarterback? You're the quarterback? Well, there's more than one. Why are you the only ones that raise your damn hand? You guys are the leaders. All right, quarterback, man. You're calling the shots. All right, these are your men. You fail, they do. Everything rides on you, man. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. That's point man. Same way with us. Point man fails, we're fucking dead. And don't think it hadn't happened. I mean, that's just it. I'm happy to see that only easy day was yesterday thing because it's the truth, man. We have another saying in the SEAL teams, earn your trident every day. Our SEAL trident that we wear, it's harder to stay a SEAL than it is to become one. I literally have to show up every day and put out like 10 men. I could show up every day for a year, 2 years, on time, do everything right. I'll show up late one day, and that's what they will remember me for about 6 to 8 months while I'm digging my reputation out of the hole. That's what you got. That's what starts here, your reputation. The one thing you want, when someone talks about you, be like, oh, he's tough, he's reliable, good looking, smart. Man, let me tell you something. The only thing I cared about was like, no matter what, I can depend on him. That's what you want. That's it. I don't care about him. I don't like him very much. I mean, even if I don't like you, man, if we're on a team, I depend on you. That's what you want. When they say your name, be like, I don't say what you want to say about his ass, but he'd be here. And he would not back down. Not while I'm standing here. You know how it is, man. You guys, when you're by yourself, as soon as your boy comes up, you're stronger. Another one comes up, you're stronger. How in the hell can you get beat with y'all sitting right here? How would you let that happen? How would you let your teammate feel the pain of a loss? I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. No matter. I mean, I just have to try. I couldn't walk out of there, not knowing that I'll let him down. That's the job. That's the feeling. You know how that feels in your gut, man, when you let when your boy's down? I hope that you do. If you don't, you're in the wrong place. You live and die on each other. Plain and simple, man. That's it. And there is no human being on this planet, if you have it in your head, that can outdo you. I don't care how strong you are, how fast or smart you are. There's always a way around you. There is. Believe it. That's all I got, man. Like I said, I can't change your life. I can't promise you anything. All I can talk about is some of the stuff that I went down and went through with me, man, and how I got through it. And that's it. It's the purest form of life, really, that team, that environment, man. It was awesome. It was amazing. I loved being part of it. I mean, when I got hurt and got discharged, I hated it. I didn't know what to do. I was by myself. I didn't know what to do by myself, man. I mean, there's a couple things. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, that was it, man. That was the mentality. That's what you have to have. For you guys that want to go higher in this profession, these are the guys that are going to get you there, man. If you think for 1 second you're the man that drives this team, let the guy in front of you step out of the way, see how badass you are. That ain't going to happen. It's just not. That's why this is designed the way it is. That's why you can do things that you normally couldn't do by yourself. or with another group of guys? It's the love that you have with that name on your chest. Your inability to not let that guy suffer. That's what you should care about. Any questions? I know somebody's got a burning question about something. Anything, ask me. What's up, brother?
What was one of the hardest things you had to do getting into the SEALs?
Man, let me tell you something. I trained my whole life to be a Navy SEAL. When I started, about 13, 14 years old. And when I stepped in there that first day, I had no idea what I got myself into. I read the books, saw the documentaries and all that stuff like that, man, I just had no idea how bad it was going to be. I remember at the end of the day, there was about 7 or 8 of us in the shower. I looked over at a guy who had been there for a while. I was like, hey, man, is every day like this? He goes, bro, it's the first day. This ain't nothing. I was like, damn, I ain't going to make it. But I just literally had to tell myself, like, you got these natural athletes that are good stuff, man, and they can handle that kind of crap. And one thing you don't do in our training is look to the end. You'll never make it. You'll never make it to the end if you look to the end. Hell, I wouldn't even look to the end of the day. I took it hour by hour. That's how I made it through SEAL training. I literally told myself, there is nothing you can do to me in an hour to make me quit. And I mean nothing, unless you kill me. If I'm dead, who cares? Nothing. And then at the end of that hour, I'd have a little bit left. I'd be like, all right, let's take it one more hour. And then I'm in that hour, I can't quit. And it was always like that. Some guys try to make it to chow, guys try to make it whatever. I was an hour by hour guy. That's the way I pushed through it. And when I got there, man, our training is designed to do one thing. No matter how good you are or how bad you are, it finds your weakness. Everybody has one. And if you tell somebody you don't have one, you're lying. All right? And it finds that weakness and it exploits it, puts its finger on it and jams it the whole time you're there. And most of the guys can't handle that. That's when they go away. Man, I had a lot of them. I was not a solid athlete, bro. So, I mean, the running, I was a good swimmer. But I mean, the running and all that stuff like that, and I could take a beating. That was what I had going for me. And, yeah, I mean, every day, I mean, that's, to answer your question, man, every day there's something. You're thinking, all right, we made it through that. Next day ain't gonna be no big deal. And they would hit you with something to be like, oh my God, how is this legal? How can you do this to us? Guys dying all left and right. You're sitting there watching a guy drown. Watching some bitch drown. And you go over to help him, the instructor's like, do you want to drown too? I'm like, no, I didn't think so. Then get your ass back over there and do what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, we'd drop poles, the light poles, man, we'd carry that thing, drop my break this dude's neck, just spine, just shift it out. I mean, rock portage, that surf zone would toss us into the jetties, into the rocks, man, and guys just be impaled on the side of the rocks. And they're like, what are you looking at? You ain't dead, you made it. Congratulations, keep going. That's how it was. I don't care about you until you get through. Every day's like that. I mean, you worried about coming in every day like, hey, you know, my toe, it ain't like that with us, man. And that's the team. I screw up, man, we die. You screw up out there, man, you die. Think about it, you do. And you can't have that. You can't allow that as a man. And you're all men in here, bottom line. And the only thing you really have as a man is your word. You give your word, you keep it. You don't keep your word, you ain't no man, period. You promised all these guys you'd step up and be there for them, man. That's it. That's it. As soon as you throw it on, man, you flip into that, you become that animal. And then when you come off the field, you go back to whatever it is you do. But in that moment, man, I mean, that's it. I mean, think about what an animal does. You back them into a corner, you come into their home, they're going to kill you or die trying. That's your mentality. Come and break me. Come try and frickin' break me. You're not going to get it done. And if you do, good on you. I'll be laying there dead. That's it, man. That's the job. You didn't think you signed up for that. You're in the wrong place. I mean, you got to lean on each other. You're here for each other. Every one of you are unique in your own way. You're special in your own way. Now, when you put that uniform on, man, you're special to everybody in here. You don't pull your weight, we'll know about it. You do, we'll know about it too. So, anybody else? Yes, sir.
What's the worst injury you had during combat?
Man, I got shot up a couple times. I broke my back, my pelvis, my shoulder. I bit my tongue in half and swallowed it one time. That was pretty interesting. I had a piece of frag sticking out of my shin bone. I had to crawl 7 miles through the mountains while it was there was frag everywhere, but that one kept grabbing the bushes and the limbs and stuff in the middle of the night. I couldn't see it, and that one hurt pretty good. Matter of fact, I got captured by the enemy. I don't talk about that much. You can use your imagination. But when they started pulling all that frag out of me, I didn't have any drugs on board, so it hurt pretty bad. So I drowned one time. I had an AGE one time. That jacked me up pretty bad. Arterial gas embolism. Was locking out the back of a submarine with some British Special Forces guys, and he decided he was going to try and kill us. And he damn near got it done. I was down hard for a while. Man, there's been a lot of them. But the juice is worth the squeeze for me. I mean, it is. Anytime you talk SEALs my age, knees, shoulders, and back. That's a given. Everything else is kind of extra on the top, man. But I wouldn't change anything. I don't want to be that guy when I'm old that has no injuries or no broken bones. Let me tell you something. And you guys know this because you can take pain. Those of us who can take pain live a lot more interesting and better life than those people who can't. You know that, right? You can do a lot more things when you can take some pain. And I got a buddy of mine, David Goggins. He's an ultra. He's probably one of the hardest dudes I know. He is the hardest dude I know. He talks about it, man. He was a PJ, a Navy SEAL, and now he runs 120, 250-mile races. And he did it he's got a big old hole in his heart, man. He's still pushing. And he always talks about walking through doors. Once you walk through a door, whether it's pain or whether it's your commitment to this team, you don't go back the other way. You go further down the rabbit's hole. That's it. You just keep going. And anytime you get hit hard down when you're going down the hole, man, at least you can back up to the door and be like, hey, man, come at me all you want. You can't push me back through here. You better hope you've been down this deep before. That mentality. I mean, all you guys, some of you see just linear, man. You hear what people tell you and what you see, man. When you start twisting it and you start thinking outside of that, outside of the realm that everybody else thinks in. I know how you work out. I know how you play. I watched everything about you. But guess what? I figured out some way that I'm going to break you down. I'm coming after you. That's what you do. That's what we do. We think of the things that nobody else will. We hit them where they won't expect it. And I'm sure you guys, I heard you guys studied up on the Navy SEALs. You know we've been hit. We lost 19 on my op, died right there. I had a buddy of mine, my brother's roommate, and they lost 31 guys in one fell swoop, 31 guys. That's a hard hit for us, man. But the one thing we don't do is dwell on it. We mourn them till we put them in the dirt. And then I would never disrespect him by stopping. It just makes me fight even harder. That's it. That's what you do, man. You see somebody work one of your boys over on the field, you be like, I got a mental note on that dude right over there. It's not coming right now, but it's coming. Yeah, man, patience. Patience, your ability. I'll touch on I'll tell you that one thing we do, when we get hit, man, there's a saying in the SEAL teams, we don't run to our death, all right? No matter how hard you get hit, no matter how bad you get hit, it's not over, all right? And one thing we do is we don't panic. We don't panic. You see me panicking, shit's gone real bad, all right? When you do get hit, man, you get down. What you do is you take a step back and you grind that foot into the ground and you set that baseline. And you be like, no matter what you do, you're not getting past this. And then you shift to low gear and you start pushing forward. You make them bleed, little by little. I know a lot of you guys get frustrated, you get behind. That ain't nothing, man. You fight harder when you're down. I don't suggest coaches do this to you guys, but most of our training they've done after we've been up for 3 days. That's when they hit us with the hardest stuff we train for. After we've been up for 3-4 days, no sleep, running, all that. Because if I can perform in that, I can perform in anything. That's how we're better than everybody else is. Most of the time, when you hear about like the Bin Laden raid, when we killed that joker, you think that was a big deal for us? That's anticlimactic. And that's even when a helo went down. That's how hard we train. Worst case scenario all the time, man. And like I said, it does go bad for us. It goes real bad. But most of the time, it's, man, did you really need us to come out here and do this? When you start playing like that, when you hit them so hard, when you're like, hey, you know, I appreciate coming out and give me this scrimmage, put an ass whipping on you, we're out of here. That kind of deal. Then you know that you're unbeatable. Each and every one of you. That's it. Anybody else? All right. God bless. Good season, guys.